All right, testing 1, 2, Wolfpack. All right, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. What's up, Periscope? What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? Glad you could join me here in this virtual internet world of stuff and everything else. So much going on, people. Hope everybody's feeling okay after a long weekend. Back to do it all again. Like to go and make sure my people on YouTube can hear the show. Make sure we're good. Hey, YouTube people. How are you doing? How you doing, YouTube? Yeah, we got Dimitri. We got Dimitri and Kevin and Chris and Brad Bloom moderating. Thank you, Brad, for moderating. Cam Shawar, Kate, Anthony, Steven. We got Andre holding it down. What's up, Andre, my brother? Lisa G. Dimitri OG, I got you, Dimitri, twice. Sunflowers, S.N. Crooks, Stephanie Renee, Thomas Cruz, looking GQ, my brother, thank you. Gwen Roberts, welcome to the show, Gwen. We're going to have a great show, by the way. Sheldon Hughes, what's up? Emerson Law, Gary Webb, Kidda, M. Brian Crosby, my brother from another mother. Christine, holding it down for the Wolfpack. Jilly Love, Wolfpack again. Felina. Oh, my sister Felina, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you out there. Kevin, Steve Warwick, Lisa G, the Salt Lakers. Okay. She says Salt Lakers aren't here. The KCDEW something. And Jeremiah, what's up? Been a fool. Another Wolfpack Bubba in his house. Been a fool. Laura's here. What's up, Laura? What's up, Kira? What's going on, Robin? Mark. I like that. All right, Irby. What's up, Irby? All right, check this out, guys. Let me jump over to Facebook. Jamal Willis, thank you. And Joel, we're going to jump over to Facebook. Make sure we got Facebook people who can hear the show. They're not upset with me right now. Josh, what's up? Malanika, what's up? Edith Gregg, good to have you. Levi James is in the house. Dadu, what up? Rich and Lisa and John and Philip and Dory and Doris. Bob Griffith, what up, Johnsons? Andrea, Q, Sam Palmer, Susan Gould in the house. Wolfpack. Sam Palmer says Proud Boys equal a gang. John Newman, Nolendra, Kate Jensen, Nolandra. Okay, got you. Sherry Cole, what's up? Happy to have you, John Anthony and Andrew Durman, and Dory, and Barbara, and Grace, Dolores Pierce, Margarita Silverpotts, Catherine Harris, Charlotte Cole, Grace, and the whole crew. Thank you so much, guys. Carrie, good to see you, Carrie. You guys got the wrench for the trolls on Facebook? Please use the wrench on the trolls on Facebook if it comes down to it. Spare no wrench, okay? And Marjorie, good to have you, Joanne Shrek, Watt, and Bruce Clausen. Because we want to have we want things to be nice. We want a nice atmosphere where people can enjoy the show, not be heckled and trolled throughout the show. All right, guys, I got a lot to get to tonight. I was looking at my car like, okay. It's a lot, but I'm going to get to it. Guys, because it's important we get to this. Let me jump back to my screen now. Periscope people, how you doing, Periscope people? Do they look dark to you? Hold on a second here. You okay? Yeah, it's looking a little dark, but guess I could brighten it just a tad because this is going to go out in a video form. And a lot easier for me to brighten it right now than to try to do it after. So a little bit like that, like right there. Yeah, that's all it took. That's all it took to pass. That's all it took to pass in the United States. Is just go in and hit the thing and just keep on going with it. Till I'm a white man, then I can go get me a bank loan. All right, so let's do this, guys. I just want to know, what is wrong with these people? What's wrong with Trump, man? I mean, he goes to the doctor. Then he doesn't want to go. First of all, he knew he needed to go. He didn't go, okay? So let's cut the crap. Donald Trump knew he needed to go to the doctor. He didn't go to the doctor. He knew he had been infected. As soon as Hope Hicks came infected, everyone should have shut it down, Johnson. Well, Donald Trump today released himself. He checked himself out of Walter Reed Medical Center right in my neck of the woods near Andrews Air Force Base. Okay, not far from me, my stomping grounds. He went back to civilization, the White House, not before doing a pointless chauffeuring, had the Secret Service chauffeur him around to wave at people to go, hey, and then 6 hours later, go home anyway. I don't understand it, Johnson. All right, I understand there are people watching the show who haven't determined in their mind if they believe COVID-19 is real or a hoax, okay? Okay, the body bags, the refrigerator trucks with corpses in them doesn't impress them. Other people telling them that friends of theirs have passed away from it, they don't believe it. It's all a hoax. Someone called me a deep state actor because I said people should wear masks. Donald Trump, your president, is sick. Okay, he's sick. This is what it is. Donald Trump goes home, but Donald Trump's not better. His own doctors were camouflaging for him. They were suppressing it. Donald Trump cares more about being the president again, getting re-election and being in a good position than he does his own health. Now, I talked to my brother about this on Friday. He doesn't think Donald Trump is sick. He doesn't think Donald Trump is sick at all. He thinks Donald Trump just had a bad debate performance. And the Republican Party wants him to calm down, stay out of the limelight. At this point, guys, I don't know what's true, what's false, but I do know what my eyes see. And they saw this. That's somebody having a problem, having difficulty breathing, Johnson. I have sinus issues. It's not chest related. It's all up in here. So I take stuff for that. This is chest. This is lungs. You know what this is also, folks? It's not funny. There's more. I saw this as well. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and make crude jokes or try to be cute about the situation. What we have here is a person's having a difficulty breathing. Now I don't know how long that lasted for him. I know he's on various medications. Some medications you should know are not medications you or have access to. You can't go by what Donald Trump bought. Okay, what he's dealing with. What he's using to try to overtake or be able to combat this virus are not available on the market to normal folks like you and I. But make no mistake about it, I don't think Donald Trump is pretending to have a problem breathing. I don't think this is an act. I believe that it's genuine. And I know it's a stretch, but I do believe there's something wrong. And unlike some people, I take no joy in it. I'm not saying that someone deserves grace. I give grace because that is who I am. I won't allow Donald Trump or the rest of you to change who I am. Can't do it. Won't allow it. I can be critical and I can be tough. Doesn't mean I got to be merciless. And it doesn't mean I agree with things Trump has said about others. Of course, I could be like others and just repeat things they think the crowd want to hear. Like, it is what it is, but it's not who I am. So anyway, back to Donald Trump. Donald Trump, back at the White House, not breathing well. I don't know if Donald Trump should have done this or not, but Rudy Giuliani went on Fox News to talk about Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, it looked like Rudy Giuliani, who's waiting on his own test, maybe should not be the person to talk right now, because he's got his own problems.
The polls. Everybody questions the polls, but pretty consistently, everybody questions the polls, but pretty consistently, everybody questions the polls, but pretty consistently. The scientists say it's okay. He is going. The scientists say it's okay. He is going. The scientists say it's okay. He is going. The scientists. That you're talking about where it becomes, maybe ridiculous, like driving by yourself in a car with one on. But do you think that this whole experience for the president will change the way he looks at it a little bit?
Sure. Things like this do change you. I think he indicated that he's been educated a lot. I think we have to wait and see exactly the conclusions that he's drawn from it. But I know he's drawn some conclusions from what he's gone through. And there's a balance here to be struck between wearing a mask and wearing a mask to the point of almost, political theater or maybe even worse than that, fear, irrational fear.
I don't consider it political theater for people to be concerned about their health and the health of the people around them. Political theater, well, I personally am not running for office. So I don't know what political theater would have to play into average Americans wearing masks. And even those in politics wearing masks or not wearing masks, they still have to go home to non-politicians where there is no theater. There is no cameras to perform in front of unless you're talking about TikTok videos that your daughter took or your granddaughter took. Hey, boo-boo. Be that as it may, what is Rudy Giuliani really trying to say here? He's doing damage control on behalf of Donald Trump. Hey, Rudy, next time you want to do damage control, get your test results. Make sure you're good. Because every time you coughed, many Democrats went, aha! As they should. But the way Julie's talking, the way that Rudy's talking right now is not it's not only Rudy talking this way. Trump's also talking this way. Like be safe, be careful, but don't be too careful. Don't be too safe. You don't want to be overly safe. You know, you don't want to go into a situation where you're full of fear. You're being so safe. You know, if there were wild animals out there, wolves outside, werewolves or vampires or zombies even, there would be nothing even close to being too safe. They wouldn't even register. Too safe. Here goes Donald Trump. Here goes Donald. We good? Here goes Donald Trump. We good? I don't know what that was. Sorry, guys. Thought I had a cute problem. Here goes Donald Trump talking about how safe or not too safe for, I really don't understand. You guys figure it out.
I just left Walter Reed Medical Center, and it's really something very special. The doctors, the nurses, the first responders, and I learned so much about coronavirus. And one thing that's for certain, don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it. You're going to beat it. We have the best medical equipment. We have the best medicines, all developed recently. And you're going to beat it. I didn't feel so good. And 2 days ago, I could have left 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I felt great, like better than I have in a long time. I said just recently, better than 20 years ago. Don't let it dominate. Don't let it take over your lives. Don't let that happen. We have the greatest country in the world. We're going back. We're going back to work. We're going to be out front. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it. I stood out front. I led. Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. And I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay. And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune, I don't know. But don't let it dominate your lives. Get out there, be careful. We have the best medicines in the world, and it all happened very shortly, and they're all getting approved, and the vaccines are coming momentarily. Thank you very much, and Walter Reed, what a group of people. Thank you very much.
I remember when I said that Joe Biden was incoherent. And sometimes he is incoherent, and I guess I was spot on with that. But Trump is also incoherent in another way. He throws everything against the wall, and he hopes that something sticks. He says a lot, but ends up saying nothing. You understand what he's saying, but what he's saying is not to be understood. What is he even talking about? Donald Trump, you just went to the hospital because you have coronavirus. You proved that you can be infected. You proved that it's easy to catch. You caught it. And you were in an environment where people were being tested daily, something average Americans don't have. And you sure you want to stick with this talking point that all is well? Is that really I mean, I know you have some ardent supporters, but at some point, some of them are going to have to think that this guy doesn't care about their health. He cares more about looking strong than he does care about if I'm okay. Then he goes on to say that maybe he's incapable of being sick, or what was the words he used? Maybe I'm cured, or maybe I can't be sick. You are sick. You are sick. Folks, you should know that Herman Cain went to a Trump rally on one day, like June 24th. He didn't know he was infected till a week later. And it took a month for him to pass away from it. And a week before he passed away from it, he said, hey, I'm doing better. Trump says here, I had to do it. I had to get out front. I had to be a leader. And leaders would get out front. Well, you know what? Leaders also could practice social distancing. Leaders could wear masks. Leaders don't need to hold events where only 50 people out of 150 people wear masks and hardly anyone social distance themselves. That's not called being a leader. That's called being foolish. That's called thinking you're invincible. That's called not believing the science. All right. Hey, I'm not going to convince anybody tonight, I'm sure, who doesn't already believe that coronavirus is real. Those of you who don't believe it's real are going to probably walk away thinking that. I guess you're going to have to, well, if that's the way you look at it, well, Trump is faking it then, isn't he? Everything about Trump is a lie then. He's lying, right? I mean, either he's lying or you're wrong. All right. Well, NBC held a town hall tonight. Of course, Donald Trump wasn't available, but he had been invited, and look forward to him being having his own NBC town hall. Well, Joe Biden was there, and Joe Biden had some things to discuss, some questions from the audience, and there were some things about the Joe Biden town hall that people didn't like. Lester Holt asked Joe Biden a question, and people got furious with Lester Holt. I don't know what they want from the guy, but I'm going to play you the clip that has people pissed off with Lester Holt from the Joe Biden town hall that aired this evening. It was live, I think, live this evening.
I just left Walter Reed Medical Center, and it's really something.
As I said to the president, not here, not tonight, not me. I'm not putting up with it.
Let me ask you this, Vice President Biden. It was an ugly debate, and it hit some lows. You called him a clown, a fool. You told him to shut up. I think most people believe that the president was interrupting you, but it seemed to go against some of the language you've said about, not being divisive.
Well,
do you regret any part on your part?
It did, and I was trying to figure out how I could possibly have him respect the debate, respect the evening, respect the moderator, and get us an opportunity to speak. The one thing that became absolutely clear, he didn't want to answer any questions. He did not want to talk about substance. If you notice, not one single time that I can recall did he offer a substantive answer or criticism related to a policy matter. It was all invective. It was all personal. It was all things that have nothing to do with whether they're going to change these people's lives for the better. And I did get very frustrated. I did get frustrated. And I should have said this is a clownish undertaking instead of calling him a clown. But the fact is, it was, I'll be very honest with you, I think it was embarrassing for the nation to see the President of the United States just hectoring like he did, and everything was about a personal attack.
Yeah, but to the point of the question, though, you're going to be meeting with world leaders who are going to get under your skin,
I've dealt with more world leaders than he has, went from face to face over 8 years. And I've gotten under my skin, and we've had very quiet conversations. I've told President Putin exactly what I think of him. He knows it. We looked eye to eye. We know what's going on. I've made the same assessment to Milosevic. I've had the same kinds of conversations across the board. You can look back on all those international meetings I have. You can't think of a time when I've not handled it properly.
All right,
I don't have somebody screaming at me in the next podium when I'm meeting with a world leader.
All right, let's.
Sound reasonable to me. I mean, Lester Holt is a corporate journalist. He's a corporate media personality. What do you expect him to do? Ask tough questions like an independent media person like myself? Hey, Joe, what's the point of you, yelling at the president? Did you mean it, what you said? Is he a clown? He's not going to ask. He's going to try to, bend his arm and twist him into saying something. I think Lester actually helped Joe Biden here. Yeah, Joe Biden gets to go back over it and kind of smooth over anyone who thinks he went too far. I don't think he went too far. It's fine to tell somebody to shut up. At least own it and say, yeah, I meant to say it at the time. It may be over the top, but I had to say it. But also thinks it really helps him in the second part where he gets to talk about meeting with world leaders and how he's met with more world leaders than Trump. And that, he's had altercations, but it never devolves into this, a shouting match where he can't get a word in edgewise. So I don't know why people are pissed at Holt. It just goes to show you they get pissed about the wrong things. What you should be pissed about is what Joe Biden said, which is true. A lot of the arguments did not have anything to do with substance about policies that affect people's lives. That's the issue. Don't be so concerned about Biden being interrupted. Be concerned about why he was being interrupted and what substance was there. There wasn't much. And that's why I can't stand the neoliberal chattering class. They don't care about the substance. They just care about winning and if that person who wins is wearing blue. Well, Joe Biden went on to throw Bernie Sanders under the bus just because, you got to do what you got to do, right? That's how you win. Here goes Joe Biden after saying that Bernie is the socialist. I'm not a socialist. I beat the socialists. You know, his routine talking point that so many of the neoliberals think was cool.
Worried about. I've taken on the Castros of the world. I've taken on the Putins of the world. I've taken on all these dictators. I haven't cozied up to them. I'm the guy that's been straightforward with them. I'm the guy that's let them know it stops here. It stops with me. It stops with me as president. I am no more a socialist than or a communist than Donald Trump is. Well, I won't say it. Anyway. So they need not worry. Just look at the record. There's not one single syllable that I've ever said that could lead you to believe that I was a socialist or a communist.
All right, we've got time for, I think, one more questioner, Mateo Gomez.
Yeah. He's definitely not a socialist. You can bet your bottom dollar. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he is because he'll be whatever Trump says he is to most Trump supporters. I mean, Lindsey Graham right now is calling Jamie Harrison a socialist, a radical leftist. And these people won't even take the time to even understand what the left is or what socialism is or what progressivism is. They don't understand any of it, and they don't really care to, Johnson. They just know their guy says, him bad. These are the same people that criticize people on the left or criticize, people on the left who don't support Trump and call them Trump derangement syndrome carriers or whatever. They do the same thing with the left. They do the same thing with socialists. Because someone said something, that's it. They do no research at all. So you can't really, Trump supporters and people of the same ilk, you can't complain that people have Trump derangement syndrome when you have Bernie Sanders derangement syndrome. BSDS. Yeah, let's make that a thing. But that wasn't it. Biden talks about young people after being asked, hey, why should I elect a guy who's 40 years older than me who knows nothing about my life or about the needs of people of my generation? Here goes Joe Biden's response.
Worried about. I've taken on the Castros of the world.
White male represent my generation over the next 4 years. And please, Vice President Biden, can you guarantee me that the American dream still exists?
We've got about 90 seconds.
I'll get the end. I guarantee it still exists, number one. Look, with age comes wisdom, hopefully. I've been there. I've watched. I'm the guy that's talked about when the 9/11 generation getting so badly damaged. I'm the only one you've heard speak in the last 5 years about how your generation, my granddaughter just graduated with honors from Columbia Law School, in fact, is having trouble. The fact that I have 2 granddaughters that are in school, in college, and 2 more children who are in high school. They, in fact, your generation has been really put behind the 8 ball. You get all these degrees, you end up with all this debt, and you're in a position where you can't get a job because no one's hiring, or if they're hiring at very low wages. And so what we have to do is we have to make sure that you get the opportunity. That's why I'm going to eliminate a lot of your student debt if you, in fact, if you come from a family less than 125 grand and you went to a public university. I'm going to make sure that everybody in this generation gets $10,000 knocked off of their student debt as we try to get out of this god-awful pandemic. Going to make sure that the opportunities you have are consistent with, for example, if you're a first-home home buyer, you haven't even had the opportunity to gain enough income to be able to have a down payment. The first-term home buyers are going to get $15,000 credit to be able to buy their first home, because that's how people accumulate wealth. That's how they get started. That's how they move. We're going to make sure we recognize you, advance you, and make sure that you, look, my children, my grandchildren, you are the future. You are the future. As I said, for example, I made the comment that I view myself as a transitional president. They meant, is that one term? It's transition to your generation. You're the best educated. You're the most open. You're the least prejudiced generation in American history. The future is yours, and I'm counting on you.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
Okay. That's pretty strong for Biden. That's I mean, it wasn't strong for, comparably to some other people, but for Biden, that was pretty strong. That's about as good as he's going to do answering a question on the fly there. Even if he does resort to using talking points from previous speeches in order to drive his point home and get the applause. But there was one part in it I got to take issue with. That's when he says, I was the only one in the last 5 years to talk about people in your generation and your struggles. It was something like that. He trailed off and switched sentences and did an improper lane change without signaling. So I'm really kind of not sure. But I think that's the gist of what he was trying to say. And he's wrong. You're wrong, hairy legs. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Andrew Yang all, even to a lesser extent Giuliani Castro, they all talked about young people and the new generation and how their backs are up against it. In fact, all three or all four of them had better plans for addressing student debt than you. Unfortunately, the young man who's speaking, I don't know if he's aware of that or not. Maybe he is aware of it. Maybe he's forced to make a decision between Trump and Biden like the rest of us. Maybe you weren't his first choice. But I can tell you this. We were talking about doing a lot more to reducing student debt than that measly $10,000 you want to knock off the top layer. I mean, that doesn't even cover a quarter of what some people owe, particularly black women who owe the most. Yeah, that $10,000 ain't going to cut it. But I do also like the fact that Joe Biden admits that he recognizes that home ownership and equity ownership are pillars of maintaining or building wealth in this country. I mean, it's only about 60 years late. I mean, we've been talking about how locking black people out of buying property has caused us to be a permanent underclass in this country. And for some reason, people of Joe Biden's era don't understand it. Well, now he gets it, because now it's hurting white kids. It's been hurting black families since there have been black families in America. But I'm glad you woke up. Hey, better late than never. Get on the bus. Let's go. Let's go to Equityville. Or Equality Land. Yeah. First-time home ownership. Yeah, it's a good thing. All right, so I don't know much else to say about the town hall except you didn't really miss that much. Joe looked good compared to Joe. Now, we'll see what happens when, it's Trump's turn, which they say should come soon, since Trump's fine and he's impenetrable. And those pictures or those imagery that you saw, the video that you saw that was not doctored of him having problems breathing, are just figments of your imagination. So was his stay at Walter Reed. Never happened. Wednesday, Kamala Harris will be taking on Mike Pence, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be amazing, right? Looking forward to it? Me neither. It's going to be air platitudes versus scary guy, cuddleless, lifeless, formless person who's really, truly weird, okay? But he's more than that. By popular demand, people have been asking me, Tim Black, what about Mike Pence? Well, I find that it's necessary to talk more about Mike Pence now that Mike Pence and Kamala Harris are going to be dueling off. Gives me a perfect opportunity to give you at least 4 reasons why Mike Pence is shit. Oh, yeah, there we go. No, they didn't say that. They said 4 reasons Mike Pence is the absolute worst. So here goes 4. Now, this was reported by Rolling Stone. This is back in 2016. Now, I want you to notice that the reasons why we think Mike Pence is the worst or the absolute worst, this is before he was chosen to be VP. This is when he was in the running. He signed one of the most restricted abortion laws in the country. So all you folks out there who like pro-choice, who are pro-choice, or those people who think maybe the government should keep their nose out of women's private parts in their decisions about birth, you would not like Mike Pence. Mike Pence in April of 2016, he signed a law that forbade abortion on the basis of fetal chromosomal abnormalities, including Down syndrome, among other factors. The law further bans fetal tissue donation which I don't understand. Don't be study fetal tissue. Requiring any aborted or miscarried fetus to be cremated or buried. Why wouldn't you want to study the remains of a life of any material, of any person that could help others? Why would you not do that? I don't understand. You want to burn it because it's some kooky thing with him that I don't know. And it's placed onerous restrictions on abortion providers nearly identical to that the Supreme Court recently found unconstitutional in Texas. So rule number one, or problem number one with Mike Pence is he's in your bedroom, he's in your pants, ladies. That's why he's in your pants. Unless you want Mike Pence in your pants. I can understand why. Number two, he signed a bill that made it okay for Indiana businesses to discriminate against LGBT customers. He left out the Q, but I'm sure QIA goes there too. This was 2016. They didn't have all the acronyms then. All right, so he's not really popular with the LGBTQIA community because in 2015, Pence signed a religious freedom law whose sweeping language permitted Indiana businesses to refuse to serve LGBT Americans, much like Southern businesses discriminated against African Americans during the days of segregation. You know, I hate when they do these comparisons. No one knows you're gay unless you tell them. Or unless you hate gay people openly, publicly. And then that's one way we know, right? Because the only people that really are loud and vociferous, adamantly pissed off and yelling about gay people are people who are really gay people who don't want people to know they're gay people. Or LGBTQIA people. That's been that's the way I tell. Okay, backlash was swift against this or whatever. Number three, the third reason why people say that Mike Pence is the absolute worst. He blocked the resettlement of Syrian refugees to Indiana and illegally tried to cut federal aid to existing refugees. Not only did he not want the refugees to come there, but the ones that were there, he wanted them to starve and live on the street. Fun guy. So Christian. In the wake of the massacre in Paris last fall, Pence issued an executive order to block the resettlement of Syrian refugees in Indiana because any number of Syrians would all have to be the same as any other group of Syrians or any other individual. Just one is just horrible. You can judge them. You can judge the group by one or two or few, as if that's up to him. It's funny. The Christian fundamentalists never do that with their deranged Christian fundamentalist right-wing malicious shooters. Never judge all of them the same as they shoot up black people praying in church. And number four, the fourth reason why Mike Pence is the absolute worst, he's an unreconstructed drug warrior. What is an unreconstructed drug warrior? Well, at a time when lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are tackling the nation's drug problems with less focus on incarceration, Pence signed a bill reinstating a mandatory minimum drug sentence. Many drug users sell drugs on the side to support their addictions. Thanks to Pence, any Indiana resident convicted twice for selling meth or heroin is now sentenced to a full decade in prison. Yeah, so as the country and even Donald Trump kind of go the other way, Mike Pence is going the other way. Is Trump really going the other way? Or does it just look that way because he helped Jack Johnson's name get, and posthumously took the, and then he helped marry the lady who was in jail for life, or helped a couple people or something. Then the three strikes thing, the First Step Act. He did a couple things, but his conservative judges, what are his conservative judges doing? Are his conservative judges being more liberal when it comes to sentencing? I don't know. I guess that's something we'll need to follow up on. But anyway, those are four reasons why Mike Pence sucks. Religious freedom, giving people the ability to discriminate against LGBTQIA. He is a bigot towards Muslims, or Syrians specifically. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And he wants to bring back all the failed draconian drug laws and lock people up and throw away the key, Johnson. And what was number one? Oh, yeah, he's not pro-choice at all. He's pro, you don't have a choice. So unless those are things you're looking forward to, there might be reasons why Mike Pence may be worse than Donald Trump. And I'm just going to say this based on my research, because I don't want to do a bunch of reading, but I did do some reading today about Mike Pence. One of the things that becomes very clear very quickly, Mike Pence has an ideology. He believes some stuff. Yeah, all of it bad, or most of it bad. Okay? Donald Trump, not so much of an ideologue, meaning he doesn't really believe in much. Like, it's like, yeah, make America great, and which was a slogan that was already made up and used a couple times by other people who ran for president, notably Ronald Reagan, and notably, I think, Bill Clinton and Al Gore used it as well. Just took on a whole different meaning when Trump used it. I don't know. I think that's what it was. But my point is that Mike Pence is scary, or more scary, more of a threat, because Mike Pence wants to get some things done, some specific things done, like have women wearing dresses all down to their ankles, have all the blacks in jail, and all the gays stoned to death. In God's name, amen. That's my takeaway. All right, guys, that's it for today. That's all I got. There's going to be more coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's do this. Let's go. If you got story ideas, you got information that needs to be shared, disseminated, and you would like to submit it, doesn't mean I'll cover it, but I will consider it. The Mike Pence story is covered because of a recommendation by Lynn. So thank you, Lynn. You can go ahead and send that to clientcare@timberlighttv.com. That's clientcare@timberlighttv.com. Don't forget, we're going to have a special show right after the vice presidential debate scheduled for Wednesday. We're going to do that. We always do that. So there's going to be a show this Wednesday, because when we got to do a debate show, whether it's my day of no show or not. Okay? So we're going to have a show every day this week. That's what we're going to do. What else? Be a show tomorrow. I got great guests coming up. We're scheduling out Shahid Buttar, Corey Bush, Paula Swearingen, all our favorites coming back to rock it with us. What else? Oh, become a member of the Tim Black Show. Go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. You can also join on Facebook and YouTube and lock it down, because we're going to tell the truth here. We ain't going to lie. And we ain't going to say shit to make people feel better or none of that. That's not what we do. Aren't you tired of that? I know I am. All right, guys, let's go to the comments section and see what the comments are on Super Chat. How about that? Wow, what a night. What a night. I'm feeling good, though, guys. Feeling good. Look what we got here. Oh, no, this thing's not showing them. Don't do this to me. I know I saw at least a couple. I saw a couple where it was scrolling. I wonder if I refresh this, will everything be okay? Let's try it, Johnson. Got to try to refresh it, people, because it's not showing. All right. Oh, it's back. See, I took a shot. Thomas Cruz, looking GQ. Thank you, Thomas. Gwen Roberts, once again, welcome to the Wolfpack, Gwen. Dimitri OG, thank you, Dimitri, for supporting the show. Robin Bennett, thank you for supporting the show. Papa Joe, I hope the housekeeping staff at the White House got hazmat suits. Hey, thank you for reminding me that. I think three members of the housekeeping staff at the White House tested positive. It's a hoax. Nothing to see here. Don't get fearful. Don't overreact. Because I beat it with the best professionals, and there's no promise that I beat it, because it could take a while. You will beat it as well. Why? Because I say so. And if you don't, well, you guess, it is what it is. Papa Joe White says he hopes that the housekeeping staff at the White House has hazmat suits and that Trump hosts a spin the bottle party with his entire administration. Sheldon Hughes, Tim, you are spot on as usual. Thank you, Sheldon. I appreciate you. Roger Meadows, H.R. 1 for the People's Act passed January. Gracious, Roger. The People's Act House passed January 19, deals with expansion of access to the ballot, election secretary regulating SCOTUS, and public finance of elections. If Chuck Joe win, let's put heat on them to pass Progressive Revenge 2020 MT. I don't know what that means. I know the reparations bill, to study reparations in California passed. That was on my list. The California reparations bill, Gavin Newsom, they call this the racial reckoning. Let's see, guys. Let's see. And, it's nothing to shake a stick at. California has the world's 5th largest economy, so kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. Rev Marie says Biden assumed the man was poor and in debt. Wonder why he did that. Roger Meadows. Joe who think put millennials in student debt. There you go. It made it harder for them to discharge their debt. Thank you for reminding me that. I appreciate it. Yeah. Spot on, Roger. Kara, that money is just transferring wealth to banks and DeVos family and more robbing of the Treasury instead of giving back to the people hurting right now. I agree with that as well. No one wants to say it, but there was a time we thought that education was the way that you actually got life started, and if you could afford to get an education, that would make all things perfect for you. And those days are gone. We live in a different time. What you definitely will have is more student debt. Will you have a true trajectory towards the middle class? I'm not going to lie to people. I don't think it means that. What's way more important is having a rich dad or rich mom, rich family somewhere to leave some money. It's just what it is. As a black person, I understand that very perfectly. Understand it. By and large, all things being unequal, as they are in this country, a black person with a master's makes about as much as a white person with a high school diploma. Well, not makes, but has as much wealth, because that's the real thing. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Isn't that what they tell us? And if you have a home already, and if you have investments that were passed down, then you're probably doing better than some guy sitting around going for their doctorate. It is what it is. Chris Rock said it perfectly, didn't he? He said, hey, I had to fill up arenas to get this house. And you know who lives next to me? A white dentist. Anyway, that's just Tim's black moment. Hell, every moment's black for me. Right? That's why I get so much love on Facebook nowadays. Hey, David, narcissist people like Trump will force their way until the end. Hey, I got to break it to you, David. He ain't the only narcissist. He's far from it. Him and Joe Biden are both narcissists, if you ask me. Joe Biden ran for president, and he wasn't asked to run. He didn't have a movement behind him, forcing him to run. This is his 3rd time running, and it was always for him. Who's a narcissist? All right, brother, sister, Johnsons. Election secretary was the security in 2022. MT was midterms. See, I don't know this stuff, Roger. Election sec was security. Election security. Hey, you give me too many acronyms, man. You got to type them out. You got to type them out because you pay. Oh, because they cut off the characters, don't they? Ah. Yeah, my bad. I get why you do it now. Yeah. I try to get it right, bro. I try to get it right. All right, Johnsons. Facebook, YouTube. LB Thanks, Stuff and More. Diana M, 16. Father Possum, Erica Vanessa, my New York City girl. Robin Spencer, Julie Love, Kelly M, Sign of the Times, Brad Bloom, Chris Smith. These are all David Melford, Erica Vanessa Myers. These are all supporters of the 10 Black Wolfpack, members of the 10 Black Wolfpack. Thank you so much for doing your part, for making the show be able to be a show. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being a part of the Wolfpack, guys. I hope you would consider becoming members as well. I got nothing but love for you. Thanks for riding with me. I'm riding with you. I got your back. I hope you got mine. Let's do this again tomorrow night. Around the same time, I'm trying to be here by 11. I'm trying to inch it closer back to 10-ish. But 11, let's shoot for 11 tomorrow. Be safe, Johnson. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. We are all Johnsons. Peace. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? No, it didn't, Johnson.